and welcome to the final video of the year. And pretty much 2022 has been a crap year, even more so for some people. But obviously we've had everybody, every man, woman and his dog trying to fuck the world. So we've had the energy crisis, we've had Ukraine, which is still ongoing. So my best wishes to all, everybody in Ukraine and all Ukrainians, and crack on. I hope you win. And yeah, everything has just been literally just full on. So let's hope 2023 is going to be that little bit much more better, and let's just go forward from there. But anyway, we'll gloss over that. So I hope you've all had a very good Christmas. I hope you haven't got too drunk, too fat. And I hope you've got all the presents you wanted, whether it be kits, tools, whatever. I didn't, but mainly because I didn't want kits, because I get kits throughout the year. I'm really bad for it, so I don't get them at Christmas time. But anyway, again, we'll gloss over that. My stash hasn't grown much. But anyway, so this video is going to be a quick catch up on what I've done. So some of these kits, or most of them, if not all of them, you wouldn't have seen them on YouTube. That's mainly because most of them I've just been quickly trying to get them done. But anyway, I'll show you what I've done, and then after that I will tell you what we're going to be doing next year, especially me and Lenny at RTV Models, and yeah, some cool content coming through. So bear with me 2 seconds and I'll show you what I've done. Let's start off with the big boy, shall we? So this one is the Italeri 48th C130H Hercules in the guise of a 1982 Falklands C1K. I think somebody's going to post down below and say, no, you're wrong. But either way, I think it's a C1. And this was for the 580s table for their Falcons display at Telford. So I must admit, I did actually like building this one. The only thing is that I had to rescribe, as you can see, every panel line. I'm trying to keep to the drawings as much as possible. Even saying that, drawings are quite hard to come by. I must admit, I did follow some J version by accident, so some of these might be a bit whiffy. But either way, the build actually went together really well. The wings went on faultlessly. It was just me messing around with the cockpit. I sort of semi-detailed the cockpit and everything else. Resin engines, resin props were too small, so I've used the kit ones, and just the paint scheme is using Attacker paints. So yeah, nothing really major to talk about on that one. The only thing is that I've not finished it. I needed to finish the weathering, so it's not got a wash on there. It's actually post-shaded, airbrushed. But either way, there is going to be a video about this one, and it's not going to be an entire build. It's going to be how to do rescribing. So I've done all the video in. I just need to edit it and get it onto YouTube. The base is, off the top of my head, yeah, the base is MDF top, and the sides are ply, which is about that much. And then it's all screwed together to make a box, and then the MDF is put on the top. The actual texture, this stuff is AK Interactive Tarmac, I think. Yeah, AK Interactive Tarmac, and the pictures of just what I've got off the internet, printed off at Max Spielman. This ground power unit is from CMK, and it's got a little switch in there because, and it's a bit dusty, because I put Linda Lusardi in the cockpit. I am going to cover her boobies up. So I must admit, that was a bit controversial at Telford. Some people would do a double take and then sort of tap the mate and go, have you seen that? And then the mate will turn around and start laughing, and then you know immediately that you've seen it. Or other people will be like, oh, that's disgusting, you vile, disgusting, dirty old man. Ugh, why would you put boobies in there? Ugh, I am disgusted, and I'm going to walk away. Whatever. And I'm like, it's boobies, mate. Get over it. So anyway, that is the C-130 Hercules. So we'll gloss over that and go on to the next one. Another one for the 580s Falklands display at Telford was this X-Ray Mike 607. You can't not have a display for the Falklands and not include this one from Black Book 1, Martin Withers aircraft. This one being the 72nd new tooled Airfix version. And I must admit, I did actually enjoy some respects or some parts of this build. Others just frustrated the hell out of me. And I was like, come on Airfix. You know, other companies are doing slide moulding. Look at the new Academy A10. That is slide moulded all the back end. You could have done slide moulded intakes, or at least made the intakes, but the multi-parts, and you're going to get seams. You've got seams down here. So literally, that was a bit of a ball ache. The way that you would have you put that together and paint it, you would get seam lines. So I had to build that and paint it off the aircraft, and then paint the camo scheme onto it and mask inside, which took me hours. The cockpit is very simply detailed. There's nothing really much in there. There's just seats and an instrument panel. But again, you're not going to see much. One thing that really annoyed me is that, and I told actually Airfix when I was at Telford, that one side panel lines are deeper, and I think it's this side. I can't remember. But one side panel lines are deeper trenched than the other side. And I think you can see that that side, if I just move the aircraft around, that side is slightly more deeper trenched than that side. And I think it is that side. But anyway, this has not had a pin wash on there. I just literally sprayed the camo and left it as is. So if you put a pin wash on there, it is going to be too stark, so I won't do that. And I'm not even going to show you underneath because I forgot to take the wash off in the bomb bay. So I'm an absolute cock. But either way, yeah, that is the Vulcan. One thing I forgot to mention is that the base is exactly built in the same way as the Hercules, other than that it's got this 3D printed Superfuse XM607, 1st of May 1982 of the operation. That's 3D printed. It's done by a mate of mine's mate. I'm not going to say who it is, just in case he gets like an inundation of people wanting that being done. But either way, that's what that was. So, go on to the next one. I must admit that this kit had got to be the most enjoyable that I've built for 2022. This being the Hobby 2000 reboxing of the Hasegawa 48th P-40N. And I don't think I did too much of a bad of a job. It looks better in person than it does on camera, I've just noticed that. But either way, the only problem I had with the kit is the wing to the fuselage join, but apart from that, it went together very well with it being a Hasegawa kit, even though it's an old kit. Decals, I can't remember who they are, but suffice to say that the guy who's on the picture there is our good old mate Wang. Wang! I like Wang. But either way, really cool build, and I'll just bin that off. So what I've done is I've put, I think they're Edard rockets on there. So what I've done is put on Edard bazookas, and everything else is from the kit. So it might look a bit war weary and a bit more, it's like I said, it's a bit more over the top on camera than it does actually look in person. But that's me making excuses. So going on to the base is a big solid block of wood that's screwed together. The top piece here is PSP from Edard in 48th, and the grass, I can't even remember who it is, and then obviously some pigments and all this that on there. And I must admit, me and Lenny were chatting one night, and he did say, "Rob, are you trimming your bush?" And yeah, I was, with some hair clippers. Best way to trim your bush. Anyway, so that is the P40. Last and but not least, for the completed kits is this one. Bit of a confession to make. I must admit I've been building this one for about 10 years. Yeah, years. And I blame Lenny for this one, that I've actually completed it, because he got his out, but he started his F16, and I thought, you know what, I'll crack on with mine. But it's a bit of a whiffy scheme, so this is the 32nd Tamiya one. It's the CJ version, but with an N paint scheme from the Marines. So that's the only difference between that. So please, no arguments if you're an S16 fan. It's just, I thought this, fuck off. So no complaints from F16 fans, please. It's just a bit of a whiffy. So yeah, really enjoyed this one. Bit sad that it was gone, and I'd completed it, but either way, it did. Well, it looks kind of cool. I must admit, I should have painted it a bit more. I've left it a bit sort of see-through, but either way. Base is just a lump of wood, and that's all it is, with an American yeehaw flag on there. But that is the F16. So that leads me quite neatly onto these two. So these ones have been going on for quite a while. They're both Great Wall Hobby, both 48th. The flanker is the twin seat UBM Blue 71, which I saw at Fairford. I always forget, it's either 2010 or 2011, but they're the pictures there that I saw of it. And they're my own pictures, by the way. And then the second one here is, again, Great Wall Hobbies, 48th. And it's the Fulcrum C version. Now, this one, and I must admit, I'm not going to say who the manufacturer of the mass set is, because I'm not going to slate them on here. But if you want to know, send me a private message and I'll tell you who they are. But suffice to say, it actually goes down square, as you can see, all the way across there. Everything is all nice on there. And it has actually gone down pretty well. But it left all the residue on. Every little tiny bit of residue off the paint masks went onto here. And it does actually say you can reuse these paint masks. Bollocks. Bollocks, can you? But anyway, well, you can't use them when there's no glue on it anymore anyway. I used Attacker's paints, and it's a good job I did, because if you do and you're using Attacker paints, use WD-40. It doesn't attack the paint in, well, don't rub too much, but it does get rid of the glue. Moving on to this one, there's no paint masks that I've found that sort of match the exact paint scheme of Blue 71. So I actually masked this myself. So 3 weeks of masking. And yes, you heard that correctly, 3 weeks. I'm not, like I said, showing this on the video build because you don't want to see 3 weeks of masking. But suffice to say, there's a bit of a video there of me demasking it, and these pictures there probably going up, if I get this right, showing you the process of actually painting this one. So you might have seen that there's some bits missing on both of these aircraft that need to be painted or what have you, and it's not going to take a rocket scientist to tell. Fuck off. So you might have guessed that there's some bits that I've missed on these two kits, and there's going to be video builds on those bits that I've got to do on these two kits, so both of them. So there's going to be 2 videos on both, and then the other 2 videos, or the other video on both, and that's that. So either way, I must admit, it's come out pretty well, especially the flanker. I'm quite pleased with that. Now we're going to talk about the most exciting bit that I want to talk about, and that's the content for 2023. And obviously we've got the Wyverns that we're completing, and we're going to complete next year, because next year's tomorrow anyway. So that's what we're going to do. I want to get back onto the 262s and finish them off. That's a priority, because I want to show you the way that I do Luftwaffe modelling and airbrushing Luftwaffe schemes in general anyway, but the way I do it. Also get the content up for these two, some quite interesting videos for them too. Also the rescribing video, get that finished and edited and up on YouTube, because all the filming is done anyway, because the kit's built. So with respect to builds as well, me and Lenny at RTB Models, we've been talking, and we've got about 7 projects for this year. We've got about 13 in total, so we've got probably enough to keep going until next year, or 2024. And they're really interesting schemes, or really interesting builds that we're going to be doing. And I really want to tell you, but I can't, because it's just giving the game away, and I know that's horrible, but I'm sorry. But either way, in between that, there's going to be other bits of content that we're going to be bringing down and we've been working on. And also, myself, I've been sort of talking to Nige at My Modelling World, and we've sort of thought of an idea to bring even more content to both our channels and also to Lenny's, because, you know, it's Lenny. But either way, that is what's going to come down next year. Anyway, enough about content. So I just want to say, from myself personally, that I want to thank everybody that subscribed, all the subscribers, everybody that watches the channel. I don't know why you do. Looking at me and listening to me talk is one thing. But anyway, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Also from Lenny, and also from Nige from My Modelling World and the Crafting Well as well, for ordering from them and getting paint masks and stuff like that. So, Happy New Year to everybody. Chin chin and all that. And I'll see you again next time. Cheerio.